Hey, it's Mark Carvey here, and in this video I want to explain to you how I got started with my first property deal. Now, the steps that I'm going to go through, hopefully you need to make sure that you get every single step and all the challenges that came up and all the mindset that was needed to get me moving in here, because I'm a huge procrastinator. So if that's you as well, put it in the comments just so I know. So just a brief background of where I started. When I left school, I went straight into the building trade, into construction. So I was doing the manual labor, I was working on sites, and I was doing all kinds of things: bricklaying, carpentry, plastering. We were doing like house extensions, I'm building footings, like doing the groundwork, slabbing, landscaping. So I had a vast amount of experience from quite a young age, because I was also, even when I was at school in like half terms and holidays, I would go and work with my dad, who was also in that trade. So I had that kind of background knowledge. Now, working on site one day, I remember one guy came to me. He was the son of the person who owned the site, and he said, "Oh, you got a lot of experience. Why don't you do this for yourself?" And I was like, the thing is, you gotta have money to make money in this trade, right? And he was like, yeah, true. And it kind of ended the conversation there. Now, I think the reason he was asking me at that time is because I was also telling him that I was going to be doing coaching for football. I was going through my badges, get my FA badges. And he was kind of asking, like, you want to be a coach? Why don't you do the building trade? There's money in here. And that's where that conversation, now that planted a seed in my mind. And I kind of confirmed, that's what I thought already, that I needed the money to make the money. So either I'm going to have to somehow come into a load of money, or I'm going to have to work hard in a job, save lots of money up, and then maybe one day I can then start investing in property with that money. So fast forward a couple of years, actually then I started to do quite well in business and built a few businesses from scratch, multi-million-pound businesses. But it wasn't at that point where I was like, okay, now I want to take this money and invest in property. It was actually, I realized, and I found something out called infinite returns. Now, what does this actually mean? This means that actually I can invest in property, or I can invest in anything, but we're talking about property specifically right now. I can invest in anything with 100% debt. So I can borrow from banks, private investors, and other creative ways that, on many of our courses, we teach people and coach people on how to do this process. But as soon as I figured that out, it wasn't about return on investment anymore. I wanted an infinite return on my money. So actually it became a return on information. What's my return on information? So the more knowledge I acquired, the more experience I acquired in this field, it's now like, okay, now I'm making a return, now Now, it was like 2016, I seen again another kind of advert or sign saying invest with no money down, or something to that effect, meaning you don't need money to invest. That's what it was about. So I was like, I'm interested, let me go and take a look at this. And it opened my mind up to say, hey, you can actually do this. And it was this whole infinite return, meaning any money that was put in could be taken back out the deal, given back to the banks or whoever it might be, the investors or joint venture partners. And now we have an asset providing a monthly income with no money in it. So the return on the money is infinite. So now we're talking about what's my return on the information that got me to that place in the beginning. So this is how it happened. So now I've got this new way of thinking. I remember between Christmas and New Year, me and Trisha, we actually sent the children away to their grandparents for a few days so they could see them and have some fun. And solidly, I think we worked out over 200 sets of numbers on 200 different properties. And this was to like embed it in our head, and we wanted to find the best deals. And we started to find a deal. Now the first deal that we had was a 3-bed house. It was a repossession. What we were doing is we wanted to convert that into a 5-bed HMO. Now this first deal, by the way, let me tell you something. There were so many people that wanted to get it for a low price because they weren't sure about the area, or they weren't sure if it was going to be rented out, or they weren't sure if they could plan out to get 5 rooms in there. Now, what we actually did was we wanted to get a commercial valuation on the back end. So what we wanted to do, and what we did do in the first part, is get a commercial lending. Now, with very limited experience, meaning none, in that field in investing, this was our first investment property. There was one lender that would lend us the money, but the minimum they would lend is 100,000. Now that's a bit tough because first of all, we got the property accepted at 100, then someone outbid us because it's a repossession. They have to display the amount that the offer has been accepted at, so then people can come in and just bid a little bit more, which happened a few times. And then when they came back and it kept going to and fro, in the end we were like, no, we don't want to bid anymore. Someone's outbidding us, was like, forget it, like, let's not do it anymore. Then it fell through and they came back to us and we were like, okay, we got other deals, which was true. We had other deals on at the time. I think we were negotiating about 8 or 9 other deals. And they said, yeah, what's your offer now? And I was like, 87. But the funny thing is, we could have got it for less. I don't think 87. But the problem now was that we had to really buy it for 100,000. So anyway, we went ahead and we did that. So there are many different things. So this happened in like January. So February we got it first accepted, then it kind of fell through, then it came back in April, and then we exchanged in August. So that one property took that 6 months. And I'm telling you, if you're wanting to get your first deal or you wanted to get your next deal, then sometimes it's not the surface level result that you see, like offer accepted, exchange complete, actually money going into your bank, that is the thing you need to be paying attention to. You just need to be paying attention that you're doing the right thing for the right reason at every step of the way, and you're following the formula and you're following the process. Because in turn, all of that action that actually got us to that 6 months, to get that one deal accepted finally, what then happened is, so that was August, so then it was around September and October, there was a 6-week period where we had another 6 deals and 6 offers accepted. So I'm talking about in this video that we're talking about, okay, how to get our first deal, but then one deal turned into 7 deals. We were selling everything, we sold our car, we were going through remortgaging our house, and we had just about enough money, which in the end would have turned, it wasn't enough money because the build cost more as well on the first project, the 3-bed that we converted to a 5-bed, which we still have today, cash flowing very nicely, by the way. So we had money for one deal, but we had 7 deals. So I have this surface level result of, oh, okay, you know, people are lending me the money so we can do these deals. No, it was about doing the right thing for the right reason, following the process, following the formula. And actually what ended up happening is we raised 650K in investor finance within 10 days. And we had not just enough money for the rest of the 6, but somebody who was investing in some of the other deals was also, have you got any more? And we were kind of like, yeah. And the speed upon which they acted as well, we were like, hey, you know what? Let's just do that deal with their money too. So that's kind of the story of how it all started. So it comes from taking action and having the faith, so knowing that you've got a formula, a proven formula. And really all those are the steps to go from A to B, which is from nothing to something, from no properties to 1 properties, or from no property. And in the first 18 months following this formula, we built a portfolio of 4.5 million using 0 of our own money. In fact, the first 6 million of our portfolio was absolutely 0 of our own money, and it was only like the last couple of million to take it just over 8 million that we started using our own money. But now we're doing all kinds of strategies, which are we're selling, we have offloaded some, we're getting capital returns, we're doing new builds, we've got a load of flips on the go, more HMOs, more conversions, super exciting. But it all starts with your first deal or deals. So rather than focus on that first deal or deals, really what I'm saying is, what might be useful for you is focus on what the process is. And I've got another video, so subscribe to our YouTube channel here, because I've got other videos that's going to help you how to stay in the game while you're going through the kind of almost pain without seeing the physical result, which is either the property or the income into your bank account. Because above all, my good friends, you got to make sure you never forget one thing. And the one thing you never need to forget is you got to do the right thing for the right reasons, because that is the only way you're going to discover your true potential.